राजपूती कंगन में उतनी ही ताकत है जितनी राजपूती तलवार में।
Wait, what's up, everybody? We literally just came in from Padmavati.
Padmaavat.
Padmavati. I will not bow down to the fringe. I will not.
The censor board.
Arnab Goswami says
the censor board changed it. So, well, I should say.
I'm not going to drop the I out of it.
No, the movie company decided that they would change it. So it's Padmaavat. Even though you don't like that, and while I agree there was no reason really to change the name, it has been changed. Even here in America, it's Padmaavat.
I want to do this movie review in a couple different stages. Number one, we've gone to our very first Indian film in a theater.
Yes.
And I want to talk about that experience. Then I want to talk about the film without giving away some spoilers.
No spoilers, not any.
And then I want to then kind of compare that film with Song of Solomon.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start off with the experience. So we finish up lunch at a pizza place and we go to the theater.
Right.
And we see a young Indian couple come out.
Yes, because they saw the showing before the 6 o'clock showing, which was what we were going to.
Very nice couple. Very nice couple.
Very nice.
I flagged them down and said, "Did you see Padmavati?"
And they said, yes, it was very good. You'll love it. And I said,
yes.
Is it subtitled? And they said, yes.
But Sai in Hyderabad told us that. He said all films outside of India are subtitled.
He told you that.
Yeah, well,
I never actually heard that from him, so I was hearing that secondhand. And sometimes you don't always get the full story.
Don't you say that.
So I wasn't sure at all that this was going to be subtitled. So I was excited about that, and I was excited that we get it opening weekend instead of having to wait for a month like I thought we were going to have to wait.
And then I asked them if they were from India, and they said yes. And I said, what part?
Southern India.
They said Southern India, and I said, how far from Vizag?
And
they
the
were
wife said, very
right
near.
There, right there.
She said, very near.
They were tripping out. That
yes.
The white dude was like, hey. Yes. So we go into the theater.
They even told us exactly, okay, when you get in the theater, you're going to show them your tickets, and then you're going to go to this table.
Yes,
because it was put on by AZ India in conjunction with Harkins Theaters. Yes. And so you have to get your tickets a little differently than you would for the run-of-the-mill movie at Harkins Theaters.
So we go in the theater and we sit down, and there's only a couple people in there and us.
And we sat all the way at the back, which is what we always do.
And I was like, boy, I don't know. This is it. But
you didn't think it was going to fill up, but we were there an hour early.
And there were I would say 150 to 200 Indians there.
And
by the time,
6 white people.
And one didn't count because he was married to an Indian, so I don't know if homie...
So he's grafted in.
Yeah, like,
right,
you know.
Where the rest of us are just, random white people.
Yes, and nobody wanted to sit by us.
You say no one wanted to sit by us. I think it was because a lot of people in the theater knew other people.
People turn around and look at you like, what
they kept oh, hey, so-and-so is here. And so then they would move, and then they'd move again. They were going to sit by people that they knew, and maybe they just didn't want to sit all the way at the back. But eventually an older couple came and asked us if the seats next to us were taken, and I said, no, please,
and I said,
go ahead.
I'm white, right?
No, you didn't say that. You didn't say that.
No, this was my first opinion, because before the movie starts... like you said, everybody knew each other. I felt like I was crashing at a family picnic. Like I just walked into somebody's picnic and sat down, and everybody was talking about whatever and conversing.
Yes.
And the only English I heard was from you and I.
I wasn't really paying attention to people's conversations, so I didn't even notice that.
And somebody would say something, and I'd say, "I'm sorry, I only speak Telugu." That's all I speak.
No, you didn't say that at all.
I didn't say that.
And that wouldn't be true.
And then the movie gets ready to start. So we get the Indian focused advertising.
Yes, which was curious because we're not used to seeing that.
You don't see that. And that was Indian doctor, Indian CPA, a lot of Indian realtors.
We learned that there are a lot of Indian realtors in Arizona.
There was a secret realtor. There was a secret realtor.
Yep.
There was the dentist. There was all these different things, which I thought was cool. Now, one of the things that you enjoyed is you like to see it's like Hinlish of fashion. You saw Indian mixed with American fashion, and you were a fan of that. You pointed out a few outfits that you liked.
Well, yes, because the one the one lady that walked by, she had on a couple of shirts that I have seen in other Indian films, that I've seen Deepika wearing in other Indian films, and I liked them. Yes.
And then, so the movie starts, we get a trailer, and it was cool to see a trailer like on the big screen. It was like, whoa.
Now, with American films, there are probably 5 trailers.
Yeah, we had one.
There was just one trailer, so that was different.
For the listening film with the war, kind of CIA, whatever.
Yeah, I forget the name of it.
It was
Ayari or something. I forget the name of it.
And the experience of watching the movie with all the Indians with us was very, very helpful. It really kind of, there were things that I would have, if I didn't watch without 200 Indians, I would have missed the points of humor because it was subtle in what was said. But
See,
I could tell because everybody started laughing. I was like, oh, that's a joke. I get it.
But to me,
you knew that.
I already knew those things.
Good for you.
I'll be curious to find out from our Indian friends, when you go see a movie at a theater, do people still talk during the movie? Because here, if you see an American film, people don't talk during the film.
I yelled Zindabad Hindustan and they kicked me out of the theater.
No, you didn't. But while the film was going on here, while we're watching Padmaavat, a lot of the people still chattered while the film was going on.
But it didn't bother me at all.
No, it didn't bother me. It was different because it's not what happens in an American film.
Different culture, yeah, absolutely.
And it reminded me of this. When I was at Bible study a couple weeks ago, at the end of Bible study, we always get into little groups and we pray. And every person at the table takes turns praying. So it's one person praying at a time. Well, the leader of the Bible study was sharing an experience about a friend of hers who had been to South Korea. And in South Korea, when you're at a Bible study and it's time to pray, everybody prays at exactly the same time. And so you're hearing everybody's voices.
Yes.
So while we were listening to people talking, it was interesting to me because you're just kind of hearing everybody's chatter about the film.
How different was it to watch a film, an Indian film, on the big screen with Dolby surround sound?
It was really cool.
Right? It was
very cool.
This was a great experience.
Yes.
I mean, I about jumped out of my skin. I wanted to start giving people jahins, but I was afraid I would get maced because everybody looked at me like I was strange. And everybody was
very polite and very courteous.
Yes. How polite are the Indians?
Yes, which is also different than an American film.
What's up with the Americans?
Yes.
You're going to be like, hey, dude, you want to shut up?
Like in an American film, if you even just check your phone just to see what time it is, people get annoyed because of the light on your screen. So I was being very cautious about opening my purse really, quietly so nobody could see I was checking what time it was. But everybody was very polite and courteous.
Then after the film, because you know how I am, I'm always looking for an Indian to go talk to.
Yes.
And so I started hunting down Indians to say,
which wasn't hard because there were 200 of them in our theater. It was
awesome. And I said, what'd you think of the movie? They were like...
They looked shocked that a white guy was asking about the film. He probably was like, what film are you talking about? Because I know what I just saw. What did you just see?
Little did they realize Co-Protector was there, ready.
Yeah.
Ready. So, okay, that was our experience. Now let's talk about the film.
With no spoilers.
The first thing I want to say, what everybody was afraid about in India that you heard of this...
the supposed controversy?
Yes.
Never happened.
They're not even in the same frame.
Nowhere even close.
It's very clever where you'll see...
her leaving.
Here she is. She leaves the frame, and then Then he
but
shows
they never share dialogue together.
Yes, they're never in the same.
They're never in the same shot, actually interacting ever.
Yes. And then, and I know our Indian friends know the story. Right. They know the story, so I'm not going to bog down with the background on it. But some things that stood out to me.
Allaudin is a dirtbag.
You want to talk about him? Okay, so
total dirtbag.
His character.
Wow. He's crazy.
He wasn't just a really good villain.
Right? He was insane.
He was
nuts.
He was somewhere between, if you put Heath Ledger's Joker on one side
and Gabbar
Singh on the other. He kind of went between this pole of performance.
He's nuts. Yeah.
And I heard that Co-Protector Theater is going to do one of his dance moves from that. Nice. To see how that turns out. But his performance as the villain was was incredible. He was just out of his mind. He was
He was wicked and crazy.
He was, I think, the most important part of the film because he is the darkness that envelops this love story that the two lovers are now going to shine like diamonds against because here he comes.
Ratan Singh and Padmavati.
Yes. Now,
well, let's speak about the man who played Allaudin, Ranveer Singh. So I had read some reviews.
Nothing but a Singh thing, baby. That's mine. Don't steal it.
I had read some reviews before we went to the theater because I was curious. I knew that there was controversy about the film. But the main thing I was curious about was, why did they have to drop the I off of it? Why couldn't it just remain Padmavati? Why does it have to be called Padmaavat? So I was reading about that, and then I read some reviews. The only publication that I read that gave it a bad review was NDTV, which I'm not surprised about. But almost every review said that Ranveer Singh gave an amazing performance, and he certainly did.
He was unhinged like Garbhaj Singh. I mean, he was very much. Yeah. But then he looked psychotic at times.
I know. Yes, he looked absolutely evil. Crazy.
And
his consort?
Yeah, that's what they called it in the movie. It was like a male concubine.
It was a male slave, basically.
Kind of. They kind of had this... They never said it. They kind of implied that they were gay.
They implied that dude... Well, maybe not Allaudin, but they definitely implied that the consort...
Yes. Yeah, he was creepy, too. He was creepy, too. So his performance was... And one of the best villain performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. You would walk away thinking, is he acting or is that just how he is?
You couldn't tell at times because he was so crazy. Yeah. Who do you want to talk about next for performances?
Deepika Padukone.
Now, I know she's your favorite actress.
Rani Padmavati.
She's your favorite actress.
She's my favorite Indian actress.
I'm always like, I don't know. When I watched this, I realized
she did a good job, didn't
her
she?
Her eyes and our son's girlfriend eyes.
They both have very big eyes, except our son's girlfriend's eyes are blue, whereas Deepika's are brown.
And she very much had a big B quality to her, where you just get into those eyes. Those big eyes.
Just focus on the
watery,
eyes. She did a phenomenal job, which I expected her to do a phenomenal job. And I know that there are some people that don't like her personally, and that's okay, because there are people here in America that I like their films, and I like them as actors or actresses, but personally, not a fan as far as their personal beliefs outside of film. So we're taking all of that out. We're just talking about her job as an actress, and I think she knocked it out of the park in this film. I thought she did such a great job. I can't imagine anyone else having played this role.
The last portion of the movie, without giving anything away.
It was very dramatic.
The speech that she gave to the women.
Yep. Inspiring, dramatic. Did it remind you of what happened with the Jewish revolt back in 70 AD
yes,
at Masada?
Yes.
Not the Maccabees, at Masada.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
It was dramatic. It may have been one of the most dramatic scenes that I've seen. When you see,
super.
Everything kind of going on and how we're getting there and the quest of the villain, to get what he wants.
Yes.
And
no holds barred at all costs.
Yes. And you sense it. It was tense. It was good. There were times the tension built so much that I was like, just let's go, dude. I'm gonna explode.
Yep. It was great. So she did a great job. I loved how they showed her meeting Ratan Singh for the first time. I thought that was a great scene.
Yes, and there were things that you'll see in parallels if you watch.
Yes,
because the two kings, the good king, the bad king.
Yeah.
Things happen that in different
parallel
points.
paths.
They parallel. Except one is good, one is evil. But you see the similarities. You see the things.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's get to your boy Kapoor.
Shahid Kapoor. Okay.
It was hard to believe that was Jab We Met. Like, what?
I kept looking at him, and I would think about him in Jab We Met, and then I would think about him in Utta Punjab, and I thought, this dude is a great actor.
Hader was a great film also, but you haven't seen Hader.
And as you know, Big B is my favorite. I think Shahid Kapoor could become a Big B type actor.
I'm going to say something
decades
that
as an actor. I think he could.
To say. I think he's a better actor than Irfan Khan.
Oh,
I think
that's high praise from you.
Well, Irfan Khan is kind of like Siddiqui, where it's kind of similar roles.
Okay.
Kapoor jumps from role to role.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, he was
the
phenomenal.
Range on this guy.
Yeah. And I read
very dignified in the movie.
Yes. He was exactly what you would expect from a king. A good king. Exactly. An honorable king.
Who loved his people.
I read that SRK passed up this film, this role, because he said it wasn't meaty enough.
It would have been a different movie.
It would have been totally different, and I'm so glad that it was Shahid Kapoor.
I like the cast.
I also read that Shahid Kapoor, really poured himself into the preparation for the role and did a lot of practicing with swords. So, because this is 13th century.
Yes.
And
sandals.
I think it really showed. You know what scene I'm talking about.
Yes.
Phenomenal. He's really a great actor.
This movie is in our top 100. It's going
no question.
And I know it's opening day, dude. Like, what are you doing? This is going to be a top 100.
This is an epic. I read before we went to see the film. If you liked,
cinematography was incredible.
I read online. If you liked Bahubali, you will love this. No question.
It's different. Bahubali.
It's different, but it's
an
epic.
Yes.
But it's still an epic.
It's an epic.
And we call films like this Sword and Sandals. The Indian review I was reading called it Horses and Swords. Same type of thing, but it's an epic.
If I was an Indian and I saw this film and I saw the comparison, that this film makes a clear comparison between
the Rajputs,
the Hindu people versus the Mohammedans, and how they approach life, how they approach war, their idea of personal ethics, like what is honorable.
When you were watching,
I leave this film a proud Indian.
When you were watching Aladdin, and you and I talked about this on the way home, the Muslim tactics then were the same as the tactics that the terrorists use today. Nothing has changed. That was quite eerie.
My Indian friends, you see this movie, you leave a proud Indian.
Yes.
This is
and I would say,
film.
If you are avoiding this film because you think that there's going to be, some sort of interaction that you read about that's controversial, it's not there at all.
Right. It's
at
not
all.
There.
So what was the next aspect you wanted to talk about? The Song of Solomon aspect.
Well, final grade A+. I mean, that's
A+.
Come on.
No
and I hate to do,
doubt.
I know this is like A+++++++.
But when it's good, it's good.
This is outstanding. This is outstanding
right.
movie.
When it's
I
good,
cannot
it's good.
wait for DVD.
Oh, yes. It was so good.
When I was watching this, and we see this love story between the king and queen and how much they're in love with each other.
Yes.
And where it's set in this royalty aspect of it playing out in the palace, in the garb, it reminded me of King Solomon. Yes. And there's a book in the Bible called the
Song of Solomon.
Song of Solomon, which is a love story between a king and a queen.
Right.
And it's
a book of poetry in the Bible.
And it very much is just like I really love you.
You said this reminds me of Song of Solomon, and I said I was thinking exactly the same thing.
I was like
the mannerisms, how they interacted with one another, how they spoke to one another. Yes. Can I just point out, like I said, I'm glad that SRK didn't take the role. I'm glad that nobody else had Padmavati's role. Those two, their interaction in the film, It was just phenomenal. It was so, so good. Yes, you were watching this thinking, wow, they are truly depicting two people that really love one another. Yeah, it was great.
It was something really good. This movie, I don't know what the box office is going to be. It's the most expensive Indian film ever made.
It was even released in IMAX.
Yes, the very first one released in IMAX. Mm-hmm. This has all the makings of a juggernaut.
Oh, this should be a total blockbuster.
This is Oscar worthy.
I agree. I totally agree. I thought it was just phenomenal. It was visually spectacular. Yes. The acting was good. Their interaction together was just amazing. The way they told the story was good. Every aspect about it, I just thought was so intriguing to me. So I absolutely loved it. I hope that all of our Indian friends will see it.
Yes.
The controversy is not there.
Yes.
I just thought it was phenomenal. So yeah, A+ goes without saying.
Absolutely. Well, I guess that concludes our movie review. Go see it.
Yes.
And our next movie review will be The Life of Pi that we have coming up that we haven't seen yet. So
which we will be watching here at home.
Peace and much love. Thank you to Rishikesh, who's been doing our graphics.
Yes,
he's
thumbnails.
A very handsome young 24-year-old man.
I told you he was close to our son's age. He's just a couple years older.
I'm adopting him as my Indian son.
Only if his parents allow it.
We'll work it out. We'll work out some kind of exchange program.
Wow.
We'll send our son to them and vice versa. We can have back. So thank you, Rishikesh. We love you, man. Sai. And who was the homie that asked you out on a date? Who's this guy? I saw him. I saw the comment. He's like, I know the professor's very liberal.
We just have We have to add these two things on. It wouldn't be a community college movie review if we didn't veer off course a little bit.
He's like,
so first, I want to say hello to Aman.
You have good taste.
I want to say hello to Aman because he's been commenting a lot, and he was hoping that we would mention him on screen. So hello, Aman.
Where's Sai at?
But I think the young man who asked me out on a date, his name is Sumit.
You got good taste, brother.
He asked me out on a date, and then he said, the professor, I'm sure the professor won't mind because he's liberal. But we are not liberal. We're very conservative.
Nice.
So yes, I have to decline Sumit because we are happily married.
Taste, bro.
So
I feel you though. I feel you, bro. I will. Let's hope that he doesn't turn in the bad guy from Padmavati.
Yeah, don't go Aladdin on us.
Don't go Aladdin on us, bro. Don't.
No.
All right, we'll catch you guys later.
Thank you for watching our videos. Will you please subscribe to our channel, and will you please give this video a thumbs up? Thank you.